when we're working on these, we know that we're working on right triangles. The way you know you have a right triangle is you look for this little square box right here, or they're going to put a little 90-degree mark. If you don't have a right triangle, don't use these formulas. If you do have a right triangle, awesome. Now this one over here, let's see if I can change my color. This one that's pointing left, this is not a left triangle. This is a right triangle, so you're just looking for this 90-degree angle mark. So when we're going to use our formulas, here's the tricky part I promised you I would explain to you. When we're going to use our formulas, oops, I'm trying to find my pencil. When we're going to use our formulas, you have to identify the angle. Now the angle can be in two different places. If I put theta up here, that's one place I could put it. I can put it down here in this other angle. Same triangle, but it's going to change the way I label opposite and adjacent sides. This symbol, by the way, is theta, just in case you don't remember from last year. We could say theta. Once their theta is identified, the angle. Now, if you're in a problem, they might tell you this angle measure, and so that's how you're going to know what the angle is. So once these are identified, the hypotenuse side, which we're going to abbreviate HYP, is always across from the right angle. Always, always, always. So I put that on there first. Then I got to use the angle that I identified. Ooh, let's try some color changes here. The adjacent is going to be right next to that theta, because adjacent means next to. So we're going to abbreviate that ADJ. But notice on this other triangle, when theta was picked down here in the bottom, the adjacent side is now this horizontal one across the bottom of the picture. So you have to be really, really specific about looking for which angle is theta. Then, since I can change colors, let's do that again. Once I have adjacent from the angle theta, I go all the way through the center of the triangle and I get the opposite side. We're going to abbreviate that OPP. Notice on this other triangle, the opposite side is what looks like the adjacent side on the other triangle. So it's really super important that you pay attention to where theta is. That theta is super important. And if you're having trouble picking formulas in geometry, I suspect it's because you weren't keeping track of theta. And once we've got that part down, now I put the abbreviations in here. I think you guys saw me do that. So we've got OPP, ADJ, HYP. Don't use O, A, and H. You need to use all three letters. It's going to help you later on when the formulas start to get messier. I know I keep saying that, but I really mean it. So now we have three formulas plus our good old friend the Pythagorean theorem that we can use. Now when you write these, let's see what color I got here. When you write these formulas on your paper, I need you to, in your head, say sine, really we should say theta, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. But on your paper, you can write it this way. We can write these abbreviations. Sine theta equals OPP over HYP. Cosine theta, we're going to say cosine, but we're going to write COS. And we're going to say adjacent, but we're going to write ADJ. We're going to say hypotenuse, but we're going to write HYP. Every time you use a formula, I want you to write the formula, and the formulas that I'm going to be looking for are these abbreviated ones that I'm doing in blue right here. Once you've got these formulas on your paper, oh, real quick, a little mnemonic device we can use to help remember these. I think you probably saw these last year in geometry, but just to make sure everyone's all together, we use SOHCAHTOA. And you'll see me write the SOHCAHTOA stuff on my paper when I'm going to try to remember my formulas. So because sine, opposite hypotenuse, CA because cosine, adjacent hypotenuse, tangent, T for tangent, O for opposite, A for adjacent. I wanted to remind you one more thing, because this one's an easy one to do. You think you've been using Pythagorean theorem for a really long time, but you got to remember that when you use Pythagorean theorem, first of all, you have to have a right triangle, and more importantly, once you have your right triangle, this C has to be the hypotenuse. The other two sides, the A and the B, is not going to matter which one goes where, but the C has to be the hypotenuse. All right, let's see what else I got going here. That's it for this video. This is my first video, so yay! Let's see if I can figure out how to stop it.